Are you ready to be empowered with hope, faith, and confidence to believe in yourself, to overcome your fears and battle through every challenge and bully you face, both real and in your mind? Are you ready to learn life-changing strategies on how to develop the right mindset and positive mental attitude to courageously stand out in the crowd and be who you were born to be? Well, you've come to the right place. Welcome to the Building Warrior Confidence Podcast. Greetings and welcome to another uplifting, life-changing episode of the Warrior Confidence Podcast. I'm your host, Master Rich Grogan, and I'm truly grateful you're here today. And if you're new to the show and this is your first time, then welcome to the show. Where have you been? Well, I'm glad you're here now. And of course, if you've been here before and you're back for more, man, and welcome back to another round of Warrior Confidence Power. Well, how you doing today? Now, hopefully you're having a great day, and this episode makes it even better. And maybe if you're not having a great day, then I'm hopeful this episode is exactly what you need to turn your day around. Well, either way, I promise you I'm going to do everything I can to give you everything I got to make our time together empowering, valuable, enjoyable, and most importantly, educational. My goal with everything we do, and we do, it's part of the Grogan's BullyProof team and the Warrior Confidence brand, is to leave you empowered with the courage and confidence to believe in yourself. You. Yeah, that priceless gift that you are. Help you believe in that gift. Utilize those God-given talents to be who you're born to be. And then, of course, after we're done chatting today, I pray that you got something that, man, you can take with you to help you battle through whatever challenges you're going through, whatever struggles, whatever fears, whatever bullies, both real and in your mind that you're facing. Then now you come at it with a new sense of empowerment, that warrior confidence. Yeah. Sound good? All right. Well, what are we talking about today? Well, let's chew on these thoughts for a minute. Are you defeating yourself with your thoughts? Ooh, are you defeating yourself with your thoughts? Or how about this one? Are you bullying yourself with the way you think about yourself and the words you say and how you describe yourself? Man, that's a couple right and left hooks of reality, isn't it? Right hook of reality, left uppercut of truth. Here's another one. Do you allow others, friends, family, the media, social media, do you allow them to plant negative weeds, limiting beliefs, and self-doubt in your mind? Do they use words like entitled, victim, offended, owed? Do you use words, those same words, entitled, victim, owed, offended? And then worst of all, if you're using those words, do you believe those words? Do you really believe that you're entitled or you're a victim or you're, if you're offended by everything or you think you're owed everything? Man, that's some tough stuff, isn't it? Boom, bang, boom. And I'd be saying, hey, dude, I come to the show. You're supposed to make me feel good. You're making me feel bad? Now I'm hitting you with the right hook of reality is what I'm doing. But, of course, I've got a purpose. I've got an intent. I got a goal with that. Sometimes we got to dig a little deep to get to the bottom of that root, to get that thing dug out. Get those negative thoughts out of your mind in order to plant the seeds, the positive seeds for a positive mental attitude, for that perseverance, for that warrior spirit, that warrior confidence in order to be who you're born to be. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to let you think about that for a minute. And while you're thinking about it, let me remind you, please subscribe to the podcast and be sure to listen to previous episodes. And also, in the links for everything are in the description box. But our YouTube channel is growing by leaps and bounds. And boy, oh boy, thank you so very much. Those that have already subscribed to our YouTube channel, check that baby out. At least 2 new videos out every single week. And the videos are empowering and powerful, and they're short. They're all under 10 minutes. But, man, it gives you a big boost of confidence, warrior confidence, and helps empower you throughout the day. So make sure you jump on over to the YouTube channel and like, subscribe, and ring that bell. Sound good? Well, let's dive into today's show then. Now, this is episode number 348, and I titled this episode 4 Words to Quit Using Immediately, and how to change your mindset and how that can improve your life. So words, can they affect your mindset and your life? Absolutely. The Bible actually says, never curse a deaf man. Why in the world? I mean, the deaf man can't hear what you say. No, but guess what? You can. You can hear the words coming out of your mouth. So if toxic, negative, harmful, hateful, ugly, rude, mean, disrespectful words are coming out of your mouth, guess what? You're the vessel that's carrying those words around. And you release them out there, those words came from someplace. Came from inside of you. Yeah, Bruce Lee also said, never say anything negative about yourself. Never say anything hateful or mean or harmful about yourself. Why? Because your mind believes pretty much everything you tell it. Your subconscious mind, it's non-biased in any way, shape, or form. You tell it something, it's going to believe it. And you repeat it over and over and over and over again, not only is it going to believe it, but it's going to have it. Man, that's fact. That's law. That must be right. Crazy. I mean, the mind is so darn powerful. And I never realized, not only the extent of how powerful the mind is, but back in the day before, I often say that I didn't know I could read because I chose not to. Up until 2012, I was 42 at the time. I probably hadn't read a book in who knows how long. My group of influence, the people I surrounded myself with, that's not something nobody did. Doesn't mean they're bad people or I was bad or anything else. It just wasn't. But I'll tell you what we did do. I often use words, bad words. And I'm not talking the four-letter words that we're probably used to. But I use some words that probably even more harmful. Yeah. And then, of course, I thought about those words. Words like, or phrases. I'll never get ahead in life. I guess I'm just not meant for success. Oh, you know what? I guess, wow, that person got lucky. You ever said those words? You ever thought that? I'm sure at times I probably called myself a loser, which is horrible, right? Don't beat up yourself. Don't bully yourself. I did. I have. That's why I talk about that so much. That's why the Warrior Confidence, our biggest thing is building that BullyProof armor, that Warrior Confidence, that armor of God to protect yourself, not only from the outside influences, but worse, the meanest bully is the one in our mind. The weeds, the negativity that's been planted in our mental garden. And our mental garden, that's our mind, by the way, is the most fertile garden on the planet. Now, you think about a garden, any garden. What you sow is what you reap, right? What you plant is what you get. An example I give all the time, and our friends that listen all the time, you probably could say this right along with me. If you want strawberries, those beautiful, succulent, red, juicy strawberries, what kind of plants? What kind of seeds do you have to plant in order to get a strawberry plant? I mean, this is tough stuff here. It's like rocket science. Of course, it's not rocket science. You know what you got to do. You got to plant strawberry seeds, right? You got to plant strawberry seeds in order to get those beautiful, luscious, yummy, scrumptious strawberries. Now, what happens if you plant onion seeds? What are you going to get? Onions? Yeah, I mean, it's pretty simple. What you plant is what you get. So if you plant onion seeds, I don't care what kind of rain dance you do and what kind of prayer you say, you are not getting strawberries. What you plant is what you get. Same thing with your mind. You plant negativity. You have a negative mindset, limiting doubt, self-belief, not self-belief, the opposite of self-belief. No, you have limiting doubts and you doubt yourself. You don't have self-belief. You don't believe in yourself. You don't believe in who you are. You don't believe in your gifts. That's what you plant, man. That's what you're going to focus on. And you're going to believe it. The worst thing, oftentimes, we allow others to plant negativity in our own mind, in our own mental garden. And we believe that to be true. We allow others who don't know us, probably really don't truly care about us, tell us and dictate what we think about ourselves. Man, that's rough, isn't it? It is. It really is. But unfortunately, I've been plenty guilty of that. I've allowed others to, bully me in the past. And you may tell you the biggest reason why? The biggest reason was because I bullied myself. I didn't believe in myself. And when you don't believe in yourself, you carry yourself around like a victim. You look like a victim. You act like a victim. You talk like a victim. You walk like a victim. Guess what happens? You become victimized because you are a victim. And then you start believing that you're a victim. And maybe you really are. But we got to stop that. No. That's one of the yucky words we're going to talk about in a little bit here. What other yucky words? Well, some other yucky words. Entitled. You ever said that? I'm entitled to this. I'm entitled to that. Well, my Grandma Bonnie, she once told me, as a young kid, I don't know if I came home from, well, Dad would always call the city boys, the kids that lived in the city boys. And those that don't know, I grew up on a farm and we were pretty poor. And I had all kinds of farm chores as a kid. I'm talking milking a cow at like 9 years old. And for those that don't know, people often say, oh, cows give milk. No, they don't. Cows do not give milk. You have to work hard to earn that cow's milk. They don't just willingly give the milk. You have to work hard. The little story for the cow, now not all cows, well, I almost said give milk. I guess you can't get milk from all cows. And none of them give it. You have to work for it. But you have to have a special milk cow. We had a variety of cows on the farm, and most were beef cattle, and we had one bull out there, but we also had one milk cow. Now, the milk cow would take her, and she had a halter, and a halter is the thing you put over their nose and their head, and would kind of tie her up inside the stall and give her food. Well, she'd be eating her food, so it kept her occupied, and then you'd sit down and you'd go to town on milking the cow. And it's hard. I mean, really, really tough on your fingers. Well, the cow, easily distracted. Flies would come by, she's swatting her tail, and then maybe she decided to go to the bathroom in the midst of you milking the cow. So you got to get your milk pail out of the way because you can't get it contaminated with, cow pee or poop or anything else, right? And then she'd maybe kick her leg back to try and swat a fly off, and you're getting hit with her tail and everything else. So you're working hard not only trying to get the milk, but now you got to pay attention. If she decides she's got to go pee, you got to move the milk container, or the milk's all contaminated, or she kicks her leg back, knocks it over. Now the milk's lost and gone. So cows don't give milk. You have to work hard to earn it. Well, anyway, there's a little trip down memory lane I shared with you about milking a cow. But some of the other chores I had around the farm, we had to bale hay in the summer and then stack the hay in the barn, and then we fed the animals hay, and then kind of how I did things. I'm kind of going down memory lane here, talking about the past. But how I did things was I would feed the horses and cows grain in the morning before school, so I wouldn't have hay all over my clothes before I went to school. And then in the evening when I came home from school, I would feed them hay. That way, I could dust the hay off, and even if I got all the hay messed up, it was okay. I'd already been to school. Anyway, those are just a few of the chores I had around the farm there. But one day, I was over at a friend's house, city boy, his dad called him, and I came home, and I said to my grandma, and I don't remember the context, I don't remember what the whole story was, but I said, Grandma, I'm entitled to this. I think I was maybe 11, 12 years old. And she said, Richie, that's what everybody called me as a kid, Richie, I'm going to tell you one thing. The only thing you're entitled to is a butt whipping. And if you keep using that word, I'm going to give you one. I'm like, what the heck? I thought it said the F word or something. I was like, oh my gosh, why is entitled a bad word? I just heard, Johnny say entitled, and he didn't get in trouble. Matter of fact, he talks back to his parents too, and he didn't get in trouble for that. Well, when I started having kids, I've got my 3 kids, and they would say some of the silly things that I probably said as a kid. Well, like one example. Well, how come Johnny can do that and I can't? How come he can go here and I can't? And my parents were like, because I told you so, because I want what's best for you, and their parents don't. Well, I mean, that was my parents. So, of course, I'm going to say the same thing to my kids. My wife, being the brains of the family, says, you know what, don't put down the other parents. This is how we say it. And my wife's, she's I didn't say she's the smart one in the relationship. She's got it all going on. Maybe she should be doing these shows. But she doesn't like talking on microphone. She doesn't like being on camera. She's great in the background, and boy, oh boy, she's the pillar of support. But anyway, she'd say, and you can say this with your kids instead of ripping other parents or putting them down, she would say, look, I'm sure Johnny's parents raised him the way that they feel is right and the way they want, but we're just raising you the way we want to help you become your very, very best. So we accomplished the goal without ripping Johnny's parents. I don't know why I went off on that tangent of a story there, but anyway. Grandma Bonnie, entitled. Say that word again. The only thing you're entitled to is a butt whipping. Woo! I've often thought of that. And when I hear people say the word entitled, and it just makes me think I need a butt whipping or they need a butt whipping. Oh, boy, oh boy. I never edited shows, right? So if you're listening for the first time, you're like, what in the world? We're just going at it, baby. But so there's one of the negative words. Man, get rid of that dang word. Get that out of there. You're only entitled to, you work hard for it. Now, is life fair? Yes and no. There are times when it can seem like, man, I got nothing going my way. Then other times you're like, man, everything's going my way. It always seems to balance itself out. But I'm telling you, you use a lot of these negative words like entitled. Boy, oh boy, before you know it, you're using that word all the time. And then you stop working as hard. You stop pursuing. You stop pushing. You stop driving. You stop trying to, because you've hit a setback. You know, I'm like, fall back to default mode. I'm entitled. That's strong, isn't it? What's the next word? The next word is victim. Victim. Yeah, I was talking about that earlier. You think you're a victim. Before you know it, you're carrying yourself around like a victim. And then you're being victimized and you truly become a victim. But it all starts in your mind. Get rid of that word. Get rid of that word. No. You're not a victim. You're a warrior. And our female listeners, you're a princess warrior. That's what I used to say all the time at our women's self-empowerment workshops when we had those at our martial arts academy. Ladies would come in and I said, yeah, you're a princess. You're always going to be a princess. You're beautiful. You're always going to be beautiful. But what my goal is, before you leave here tonight, is we're going to pull out that inner warrior to defend that princess. Because no one has the right to be rude to you. No one has the right to make you feel like a victim. No one has the right to victimize you, especially yourself. So we can't be saying those words. What's another one? That's the second one. The third word, offended. I am so offended by that. I'm so offended by that comment. I'm so offended by society. Wow. You want another Grandma Bonnie wisdom? Grandma Bonnie, I must have said this one too. Grandma, I'm offended by that, or I'm offended by him, or I'm offended by that guy, or I'm offended by whatever. And she says, you know what? If you're really offended by everything and everyone, maybe take a look in the mirror and see why you're offended, or see who you should really be offended by. Be offended by the person you've become to allow others to offend you. Woo! Man, oh man, is that a sharp blow. Wow. Did you see that one coming? And I often talk about bullying ourselves. We are the meanest, nastiest bully. The way, the words, the actions, the things we say about ourselves and do to ourselves. When using these words, man, that doesn't help. That helps the bully, but doesn't help you become the hero you were born to be, to utilize your God-given talents. Not at all. So, entitled, victim, offended, get rid of those words. And what's the last one? Owed. Man, I'm owed this. I'm owed that. You ain't owed nothing. You get what you earned. Now, is society fair? I've already discussed that. No, unfortunately. Sometimes it's not. But I promise, you keep doing your very, very best. You keep believing in yourself. You focus on your unique God-given talents. You focus on the warrior confidence. You focus on kindness. And it works itself out. It works itself out. But it's not going to be easy. And, if you think, well, everybody gets breaks except for me. If I had bad luck, it'd be the only luck I had. Or what's the old saying? It's a terrible saying. Get rid of that one too. It's something like, only luck I have is bad luck, or if I had any luck at all, it'd be bad luck, or something like that. I can't remember it because it's just a bad saying. Get rid of that crap. That's exactly what it is. It's garbage. Get it out of your mind. So 4 words. I'm going to dive in a little bit more, but entitled, victim, offended, and owed. Get rid of them. And if you're surrounding yourself with people that are using those words, you can politely say, man, listen to this podcast. This guy really dives in deep on how destructive those words are. Because if you believe that about yourself, if you believe that you're entitled, you believe you're a victim, you believe that you're offended by everything, you believe you're owed something that you haven't worked hard for or put in the efforts to obtain, before you know it, man, that you become that, what's the second word, victim. And that's how you go through life. And boy, oh boy, society, the wild, as I like to call it, the jungle out there, boy, it'd chew you up and spit you out. It's tough enough. Don't give society any reason to be any tougher or stronger, to beat you down. We've got to be strong in mind, and it all starts by what we plant in our mental gardens. How's that? Well, that's right off the bat here. Boom. So 4 words to quit using immediately. Now, I want you to think about how not only what you plant is what you get, but how much better your life is going to be. And if you've already quit using those 4 words, how much better it's going to continue to get as you move forward by planting the right seeds in your mind. You can change your mindset and improve your life. We only get one of these things called life. We really do. And we can walk around life using those 4 words and really believing that, we're entitled to this or we're owed that or offended by everything or we're a victim. Or we can walk around like, man, I'm a gift from God here. Yeah, I've got some flaws. Yeah, I got some imperfections. Yeah, I'm not perfect. None of us are. In previous episodes, I just talked about, when we look in the mirror, yeah, see the areas we need to improve on. Be modest, be humble, be honest. But oftentimes we go so far overboard that we abuse ourselves. We find every flaw, every imperfection. And instead of counting our blessings along with that, say, no, you know what, that's not perfect, but I'm going to work on that. You know what, I definitely want to make sure that I'm doing a better job of working out every day, proper nutrition, drinking plenty of water, getting plenty of sleep, putting the right seeds in my mental garden. Yeah, that's all about self-improvement. Being humble enough to realize, as Socrates says, all I know is I know nothing. That's being humble, man. Yeah, constantly improving. And we used to have a little acronym at the studios called CANI, C-A-N-I. And CANI stands for Constant and Never-Ending Improvement. Ooh, how's that sound? Happy but not satisfied. Yeah, I'm happy. I feel good. I'm satisfied because I know I've got more. I've got more left in the tank. I've got more I can do. I've got more podcasts I can do. I got more video blogs I can do. I got bigger crowds that I can speak to. I got more books to write. Get our programs out to help empower others. That's the attitude. That's not being cocky or arrogant in any way, shape, or form. That's gone over the other side, right? You can't go to the extremes. You got to find that balance. But most of the time, we do more harm and abuse to ourselves by the words we say, by focusing on our flaws, our struggles, our imperfections. So know what we got to improve on. At the same time, believe in your gifts. Is that good? Yeah, that's good stuff, isn't it? So the, I guess a question, kind of tongue-tied here for a sec, twisted my own words. A question I get asked the most, when or how did you experience this mindset shift? Because it was not always like this. And I'm telling you, I often refer back to 2012. It was like a turning point in my life. At that time, I'd never even heard of Zig Ziglar. And now those that listen to the show regularly, you know that I'm a Zig Ziglar speaker, trainer, legacy trainer, coach, presenter. I've taken just about actually Tom Ziglar, which is Zig Ziglar's son, and we've become pretty good friends. As a matter of fact, my oldest son, Austin, works for Tom and Tom's business partner, Howard, now. So that's pretty amazing, even a tighter connection with the family there. But Tom gave me the unofficial title of first ever platinum Ziglar member because I've taken every Ziglar course they have. So there you go. But obviously surrounding yourself, who you surround yourself with is who you become. And I've talked about that at great length. You know, you surround yourself with people that have a victim mindset or an entitled mindset, you know, that talk about how bad things are, how bad life is, how horrible their life is, how bad their kids are. Well, I mean, yeah, you can try and help those people, but oftentimes, you know, pity enjoys company, right? Misery enjoys company. You can try and help them. And I've talked about that at great lengths. Do what you can. But if you're not empowered yourself, if you haven't become the hero of your own life, if your cup isn't full, then you can't pour from an empty cup. You can't help yourself, can't help somebody else. So that's why we got to make sure that we're doing what we can to be our very, very best. Because the struggles, the challenges in life, man, they're real. The challenges and struggles with our kids, they're real. Yeah. I mean, the world's a beautiful place, but it certainly isn't all sunshine and rainbows. We got to equip ourselves with that, I like to say, armor of God, with that warrior confidence to take on those challenges, take on those battles, to overcome, to succeed, to battle through and never give up. But, man, we got to be right in mind first. Yeah. So I got something that with Ziegler, as I mentioned, in 2012, first time I ever heard of him. I'm like, holy cow, where has this been all my life? It had always been there. I just never knew to look for it. I just absolutely never knew. And how I heard about it, I was attending probably one of my first webinars, martial arts webinars that I ever attended. And I was trying to learn how to, with our business. Our business had failed twice. I had been bankrupt in 2001 and bankrupt again in 2008. Had a house repossessed and our cars repossessed, had our house foreclosed on. Whew. That's tough stuff. I used to never talk about those things, but now I openly talk about them. I never talked about them before because I was always trying to present myself, I'm stronger than this. I can't show my weaknesses. I can't show that I've failed in the past. I can't show this and that. Why? Because I didn't believe enough in myself to share that with the world. Now, man, I don't want you to have those struggles, those challenges. There's something I can say or do from my past, my experiences, the wisdom I've learned and gained from the people I surround myself with now, the challenges that I've battled through. If I can share something to help you, gosh darn, and then you overcome that challenge or struggle that you maybe never thought you could, or you avoid that pitfall, now you can share that with somebody else. But once again, we have to be strong in minds first in order to do it. But anyway, the Ziegler philosophy, a lot of that, it was kind of cool to hear how they put things. And Zig's thing was mindset first, meaning, and I took that as, and another mentor of mine, Chris Widener, he's got a great book out called The Law of Sowing and Reaping. Pretty simple, right? What you put in is what you get out. But they talk about, look, even if you plant the most fertile seed in a garden, if you haven't cleaned the weeds out of that, you haven't tilled the weeds out of that garden, the weeds are going to suffocate the seeds. Well, the same thing with our mental garden. Now, I had 40-something years of, I don't want to say bad programming. My family did a very, very good job of creating a strong, extremely strong work ethic from all the chores on the farm, and I listed a few of those earlier. And that was great. Hard work ethic. But we really didn't do a whole lot on the mental side of things. And I was often told that, it's kind of blue-collar farm boy. That's all you're ever going to be. Some people are made to be successful and rich, and we're not. And just quit dreaming, but work hard, and you'll do all right. Well, that was encouragement, I guess. But I was like, man, there's something better out there. Yeah. So I never had a problem with work ethic, but I definitely didn't. And I'm not saying this to beat myself up. I'm saying it's actually the absolute truth. I didn't really have a whole lot going on upstairs as far as smarts and self-education and self-worth and, feelings of, I am somebody. It just wasn't there. I'm a guy who barely graduated high school. That's the truth. And somehow I went along and ended up getting a degree in kinesiology education. Kinesiology stands for the study of human movement, and the education part was the PE part. So I was a PE teacher for 11 years. But anyway, the mental side, that's where it all starts. We got to, I talk about it in my book, and I also got a worksheet. It's called Weeds, Seeds, and Trees. And the weeds, envision this, you're digging weeds out of a garden. That's pretty tough. Well, digging weeds out of your mental garden, and some of them that may have been there for 10, 20, 30, 40 years, woo, man, do those babies have some roots. So you're going to have to dig deep to get those things out. And I know from experience, so some battles I got to fight over and over and over again. And I'm like, gosh darn, how many times I got to dig that weed out of there? Well, that baby's been planted for a long, long time. And if you've got those words that, we talked about not using, entitled, victim, offended, owed, those are negative weeds, man. Dig those suckers out, get rid of them, and stop believing them. Don't allow family members or friends or social media or anybody to plant those negative weeds in your mental garden, or limiting beliefs or self-doubt. Well, all you're ever going to be is this poor farm boy. You work hard and maybe something will happen. And get that garbage out of there. And of course, as we started the show talking about, don't curse a deaf man. Don't curse yourself. Don't say ugly things about yourself. As Bruce Lee said, don't say ugly, mean, debilitating words. because you're the vessel carrying those things around. And if you're thinking those things, you're thinking those thoughts, and you're saying those words, that's so destructive. And back to the kind of the subtitle of this, how to change your mindset and improve your life. Well, we got to quit using, especially these 4 words, but anything negative that makes us feel bad. Most of us would not allow others to talk to us the way we talk to ourselves. But we get so used to doing it, we don't even notice it anymore. So I'm just kind of asking, by planting this seed in your mental garden, by planting this in your mind, be aware of that. Yeah, be aware of the destructive things we say and do to ourselves. How's that? Is that a shot? Is that tough stuff? Kind of tough love? Obviously, my goal with everything I do is to share from my past, my experience, the wisdom I've gained from the Ziegler family. Also was a Jack Canfield coach. And I'm blessed to surround myself with some just amazing speakers and writers and authors and podcasters and video bloggers. But it wasn't always like that. Because that's another question I get. How do you get around these people? Well, you have to get out there. Me just sitting in my office here doing this podcast, yeah, I'm putting this out to the world, but I also have to get out there, not only on social media, but in real life, go to workshops, go to conferences, go to different events, read their books, reach out to them in order to connect. And when you reach out, it's not about what they can do for you, it's what you can do for them. And that's a whole mindset shift. That's a tough one to say. That's a whole mindset shift. Yeah. Instead of always looking like, well, that person's successful. What can they do to help me? I thought that for the longest time. Well, that's unfortunately, if you think about it, most of the people that go to them, that's what they ask. Oh, you're big and successful. Help me, help me, help me. Well, I mean, come on. Do you want somebody begging you? No. Now, are you willing to help? If you see somebody who's has the desire, the passion, and the willingness to put into work, you darn right you are. And it's the same with them. And that's what I found. They're free with their time if you're willing to put in the work to do it. And they share the secrets, the tips. They put their whole life in these books, but you got to be willing to read the books. You got to be willing to do the worksheets, the workshops. And the same thing with our program that's coming out. First one's Warrior Confidence. It's all about defeating the bully within, and defeat that bully within. Therefore, you're empowered. You've got the warrior confidence. So no one out there in the real world is going to bully you. Why? Well, confidence is a powerful thing. You know, you look at it. You walk around looking like a victim, you're going to be treated like a victim, right? You walk around, and I'm not, once again, there's a line. Nobody likes an arrogant jerk at all. But I'm saying you need to walk around with your head up, your shoulders back, smile, feeling good. One of the last podcasts I talked about is confidence builds kindness, and kindness returns itself with more confidence. Woo, yeah. The more confident, the more you believe in yourself, the more you're smiling, the better you're willing to help out others because you've helped out yourself. That's confidence. And then you're being kind not only to yourself but to others. And the kinder you are to others, the better you feel about yourself. The better you feel about yourself, the more confidence you gain. The more confidence you gain, the kinder you're going to be to yourself and others. Isn't that crazy how circular that is? So anyway, I want to get back to the mindset is number one. You've got to have the right mindset, but you got to dig up the mental weeds to get it out of the weeds out of the mental garden. And the secondary step, almost like a triangle. Okay, I used to call it a martial arts triangle, and it was the 3 points of the triangle are mental, spiritual, and physical. Now, spiritual, I'm a Christian, and I'm very happy that I am. I was baptized in 2017. You know, I was not always a Christian. I had my struggles. I fought my demons, my battles, and I did a lot of bonehead, knucklehead things. But you know what? I got baptized. That tub was awfully dirty when I got out, but I got baptized. Man, free. That doesn't mean I'm free to commit all the sins I did in the past again. No, that's not a free slate to do it again. It's all about those who have been cleansed from you and now can move forward and try and almost a secondary life. What can I do to make the second or the rest of my life the best of my life? The second half of my life, the best of my life. Think about that for a minute. Anyway, but if you're not into that, if you're not a Christian, no big deal. Just think of spiritual as something bigger than you out in the universe. You know, it's a much bigger world than you. You just live in this world, but how can you make this world a better place? Think of it that way. So you got the mental, the mind. The spiritual is there's something bigger than you out there, but you are a central part that's going to make an impact, a positive impact in this world. And then, of course, the physical The physical leg of the triangle there, physical point, if you will, is all about what you're doing to physically be strong enough, healthy enough, productive enough, have the right attitude, the right perseverance, to battle through the challenges, to exercise. And physical, I like to tie in the nutritional in there as well. And make sure you're eating the right foods. Make sure you're getting plenty of sleep, drinking plenty of water. Those are all part of it. So those are kind of we used to call it the martial arts triangle. So you got the mental, the spiritual, and the physical all working together to keep that triangle balanced. But it all starts with that mental. And that's why I spend so much time on the podcast talking about that, because that was, for the majority of my life, it was non-existent. I know it's crazy to say it, but it really wasn't there at all. I never really, I'm sure somebody had mentioned it at some point in time, but self-education, what the heck was that? I don't know. I never heard of that before. But the more I started surrounding myself with a different group of people, listening to that first webinar, and then going to that a conference, and then cracking a book open and reading it, and then Audible, listening to countless books. And I've got over 500 and something books in my Audible account now. Holy smokes. Well, it all started with one, and that was life-changing. Crazy, but it was. And then I started hearing words more often. Self-education. Oh, yeah. Self-worth. Oh, yeah. Limiting beliefs. What the heck was that? Limiting beliefs. I haven't even heard of that before. Well, basically, it just means your beliefs are so limited that you can't see beyond where you're at right now. Your beliefs are so limited that you think, yep, this is the best it's going to be. It's all it's ever going to be. I'm just going to be a, dumb, poor farm boy. That's it. And there's nothing wrong with being a farm boy at all. But there is something wrong with thinking you're a dumb, poor farm boy. Yeah, that's a limiting belief. And, of course, self-doubt. What is self-doubt? Well, I can't do anything. Oh, well, I'm not good at this. I am kind of short. I'm not the biggest guy in the world. I'm not the smartest guy in the world. Oh, well, that's self-doubt. That's beating yourself up. Get rid of that nonsense. Once again, be real when you look in the mirror. If you got some areas you need to improve on, be honest. Write those things down. I'm big on writing things down. Get it off your mind, out of your head, and on paper. Because once you see it on paper, boy, that's when the magic happens. Now when it comes to life, because you've taken the time to get it out of your mind and put it down, now you look at it, and you'll find one of two things. One, you're going to say, what the heck? Why was I letting that hold me back? That's ridiculous. Or you may say, ooh, that is an obstacle I need to work on. That is a challenge I need to confront. And then go to town working at it. The same thing with goal planning. You can't hit a target you can't see. That's something Zig would say all the time. You got to put it down. If your goal is to move to Florida, we moved to Florida about 2 years ago now. Well, in order to get here, Florida was the goal. Now I had to direct a path, follow the maps on how to get here. And if you fly a plane, that pilot has to have a destination. Well, oftentimes we don't have any goals in our life on what we want to do to improve things. Without a goal, not a destination, what are we doing? We're like a ship without a rudder, just spinning in circles. And life keeps on ticking by. And then those words slowly creep in our mind. You know what? I'm entitled to this. I'm a victim of this. I'm offended by that. I'm owed this. No, get those words out of your head. Put in words like, I'm going to work hard. I believe in me. I've got unique God-given talents that nobody else possesses. I have an amazingly awesome attitude. Yeah. And some people say, but when I talk about these things, they'll say, well, that's just lying to yourself. I ain't going to lie to myself. And this is something Zig would also say. He goes, no, it's not. That's just predicting the future. That's just projecting out what you're going to achieve. That's what it is. You're not lying to yourself. It's a goal for yourself. Yeah, I am going to have an amazingly awesome attitude because I got an amazingly awesome attitude right now. You say, well, I don't feel very good right now. All right, I get that. Well, tomorrow, you're going to have an amazing awesome attitude, so go ahead and say it. And Zig would always say, today is the best day there ever was and best day there will ever be. And somebody says, well, what about tomorrow? He goes, well, I say the same thing tomorrow. And, well, that's lying to yourself. No, it's not. Yesterday's over now. So today is the best day ever. Think about that for a minute. Wow. Unbelievable, right? Yeah. Now, here's the big thing. Can we do these things that I've talked about? Is it tough? Yeah, it probably is going to be tough at first. But can you do it? Absolutely, you can do it. But first and foremost, you have to believe in you. You have to plant the right seeds in your mental garden. You have to quit using those ugly words. And maybe if you're surrounded by negative influences that continue to bring you down, those anchors in your life, man, you got to cut the ties, baby. Yeah, start surrounding yourself with the engines that are driving and pushing you and helping you become better. Continue to listen to this podcast. Continue to share this podcast. Listen to our YouTube channel and watch all the hundreds of videos we got on there. Like, subscribe. That's going to pump you up. What you plant is what you get. Got it? Get it? Got it good? All right. Well, as always, thank you so very, very much for taking the time out of your busy day to listen. I really, really appreciate it, folks. And like, subscribe, and bounce over to our YouTube channel when you're done here. And if you found value in this message, please kindly share it with somebody that you know could also benefit. And, if you haven't given us a review yet, those work. That's tremendous. That's the best thanks you can give us, is that 5-star review, and write up a little comment there, because that helps us move us higher in the search results, and people can find the podcast a little easier. And obviously, if you've not picked up one of my books yet, please do so. Yeah, the links are in the description box. You can get those through Amazon. You can type in my name, Rich Grogan, or like I said, just follow the links and it takes you to our website. Our website is Grogan's BullyProof. And the same thing, if you've got our books and you've read them, you love them, kindly ask somebody else to purchase one as well. That helps out tremendously. And those 5-star reviews for the book reviews, they go a long way as well. It's amazing how those reviews, they boost you higher in the search results. People find it. And then, of course, that's another contribution to making our society a happier, healthier, and safer place to live. And if you'd like to hire me to speak or come to and motivate your team or your office staff or your business leaders, just reach out on social media, and you can do so on our Facebook page or Instagram. It's Warrior Confidence is our page name, at Warrior Confidence. Good. All right, folks. Well, man, please stop using those 4 words immediately so you can change your mindset and improve your life. Can we do it? Yes. Is it easy? Probably not at first, but man, I tell you what, just like anything else, the more you do it, the more you focus on it, it's going to get easier and easier. Remember, we all have unique gifts from God. Please share that gift with the world. Really. And until we talk again, keep believing in yourself, keep building your warrior confidence, and most importantly, you get out there and do what you do best, and I promise you'll be your very best. God bless you. God bless your loved ones. I can't wait to chat with you again real soon. Thanks again for listening, folks. Have a blessed day. Bye-bye. Thank you so very much for listening today. I am truly grateful. My goal is to empower millions of people with hope, faith, and confidence to believe in themselves in order to make our society a happier, healthier, and safer place to live. But I can't do it alone. So if you found value in this message, please share it with someone else who could benefit from it, and by subscribing and leaving a 5-star review. Be sure to pick up copies of my books for yourself and someone you care about at www.warriorconfidence.com. Also, remember to stay empowered throughout the week by subscribing to our YouTube channel and our Facebook and Instagram pages at Warrior Confidence. Thank you again, and have a blessed day.